My name is Liza. I am the author of the book Irresistible, Where Agape Meets Eros. Irresistible is an anthology, meaning a collection of poetry published under my poetry ministry, Petals of Poetry. My journey with poetry began about 3 decades ago, that is 30 years ago. I started reciting poetry and poems at the age of 4. And I wrote my first poem at the age of 10. So my mother was a great inspiration for my work and work in poetry. And as a child, one of the first things she got me was a dictionary, which I'm happy to share. At the age of 10, I wrote my first poem, which was dedicated to my mother, titled My Mother. And over the years, I started writing poems in papers and in anything that came my way. So a lot of poems were written in exercise books, in some of the small notebooks, which I have kept over the years, with many of them still written in paper. So I'm still privileged that I keep some of the papers. As I continued to grow up, I continued to write more and more poetry, which at some point I printed in a huge file and kept all of them in this file, or rather most of them. So in 1997, I started the journey of publishing a book. At that time, I continued reciting poems as a performing artist while writing on the side as well. I started publishing the book. I put down all these poems together that I had written. And at that particular time, when I was 14, I came to the decision to have my first poem for that book. I continued writing poems for the next 10 years, and in 2007, I decided to publish the book. I consolidated about 150 poems into a book, and I printed the first book physically. I shared with a number of friends. So this was the first book. These 3 make the next generation of the books that I printed out. And then the next 3 make the next generation of yet a number of books that I printed with the same poems, having made corrections from the poems over the years. And almost finally, I had the final copy, which went in for a while. In 2012, I was introduced to a publisher, and when I went to him, he looked at my work and he said that I wasn't a well-known person yet. So he gave me 2 offers, none which were really viable for me. One, to either get an amount of $5,000, that is about 500,000 Kenya shillings, to publish for me my work and give me 1,000 copies. It essentially meant that I would have to sell all the 1,000 books at 500 just to break even without making any profit. And it didn't make sense. The other option was that he would take the rights of my book and give me back 10% of the first publication and retain everything thereafter. I wasn't very happy with that, and so I decided that I would self-publish. So over the years, I have continued to work on the poem and to improve on the poem. Eventually, in 2017, I met a friend. I was invited to a function where I met someone who had just published a book which had illustrations. So I spoke to her and shared my desires. And so eventually we had Irresistible printed. And so this is the book that we have, which traveled from this paper to these books over the years with the help of this dictionary, and we eventually have this particular book. This particular book is a collection of poems that I have written from the age of 14 through the age of 24. I settled for this name Irresistible, Where Agape Meets Eros, because this book mainly talks about love in our mixed world, the love of God and the love of humanity. And I say that where the love of God meets the love of humanity, the outcome is irresistible. So the book comes in 3 sections. The first section is called Agape, which basically talks about the love of God, poems that factor on the love of God or the the things that we cannot explain, such as rape, such as abortion, such as the thoughts that go through our minds many times that are simply inexplainable. Then we have Eros, which sort of mirrors the Songs of Solomon, the biblical book. It's basically about love for humanity, for our parents, for our children, for our people, and for our spouses. The third bit of this book is called Mixed Blessings, which is just about the ups and downs in life and in our world. My hope and prayer is that this book touches a life, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your tribe, beliefs, or denomination. That as you read through this book, you will marvel at the grace of God and His love in our lives. That as you flip through the pages of this book, you will still be thrilled by love, and that you will also manage to see the detailed messages in the illustrations that have been given, that you will share in the pain and gain of the many stories that have been shared through poetry. The aim of this project as well focuses on supporting the underprivileged students from underprivileged homes, orphans, both boys and girls. And my prayer is that the proceeds of this sale, of this book sale, will literally transform the lives of these particular students. My friends and fans have been supporting me in paying school fees for these particular children across the country, but I pledge to use some of the proceeds of this book to do that. I am deeply thankful to the many people who have worked with me, the journey of publication of this book, and specifically to my fans across the world who have made purchases for this book even without seeing it. You are the testament of the fact that faith is the evidence of things unseen. These shelves show the number of books that have been bought from Kenya, awaiting the launch. So I am deeply, deeply thankful to them. A number of books have also been bought in US, Canada, Serbia, South Africa, Uganda, Swaziland, and across many other countries. So I am deeply, deeply thankful to them. And while at it, I'm also very grateful to the many people who have helped me in this journey. My family members who have supported me over the years, particularly my late mom and sister, who worked with me, as well as the existing family members. There are a couple of friends who came in late in this journey, and it all made a difference. But particularly, there are those who have sponsored this book, and I am deeply thankful for them. At the event, I have a couple of people who are coming. The MC will be the wonderful Cindy Ogana, who also accepted to do this just for free, and a lot of other people who have supported me in getting the venue and in making this event a success, together with the many people who are coming for the event. Thank you very much.